Oh, this one's gonna be fun. Oh my god, hey! Welcome back to my kingdom of stagey isolation. Wow, the sun just got very bright. Is this God smiting me for what I'm about to say? It's possible I'm being smited. You're witnessing it here first. If you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Mickey Joe and I am obsessed with all things theatre. On my channel, I normally talk a lot about musical theatre and shows that I've seen. I review things, I react to things, I talk about plays, I talk about the theatre industry in general, which occasionally means commenting on other things that are happening within the theatre industry, whether that's rumour, speculation, a little bit of drama, or this. There's so much disclaimer I want to talk about before I even get into explaining what's going on with this whole situation. I'm gonna just drink some water from my inclusive pride cup beforehand so we all know where we stand. If you're already offended by what you're seeing right now, you're not going to enjoy this video. It's best you leave quietly. Or fight me in the comments section. I enjoy it, really. It only fuels my wrath. Okay, where were we? The story about Seyi Omooba, an actress who was dropped from the Leicester Curve production of The Colour Purple and is now bringing legal action against them as well as her former agents, is back in the news because the legal process is ongoing and new testimony has been heard at a tribunal. Comments about this have now happened on Twitter, and if you've seen this tweet from Billy Luke Nevers, or my even more cryptic quote tweeting of it, it's possible you're slightly confused and you don't know what's going on. I am here to tell you. And I've decided to make this video for a few reasons because I was very torn about it. I don't want this to seem like a witch hunt, especially against a woman of colour coming from a white cisgendered man, and I'm really not coming at this from a place of attacking. I am just trying to get the information out there. I wasn't going to make this video, and then out of sheer curiosity, I searched her name into YouTube, and what you get if you do this is a whole bunch of very highly watched videos from a charity called Christian Concern that I believe is in the pocket of her father. This is her father, Seyi Omooba, who, little bit of backstory for you, advocates for gay conversion therapy, and also has an MBE. The only video that isn't from Christian Concern on that YouTube search results page is me, 15 months ago, talking about the theatre Twitter drama of the week, and this was just one of those stories, and I spent like 2 minutes recapping what's been going on. It's troubling to me that the main voice of all of this, and the main dialogue that's being established and presented to people, is a very one-sided one. And so I am here to offer you some insight onto a slightly more well-rounded perspective, or at least the other side of the argument. So if you know nothing whatsoever about this story, Seyi Omooba was a rising West End actress who had been in shows like Little Shop of Horrors at Regent's Park Open Air Theatre. She had some great reviews behind her, and she was cast to play Celie in the Leicester Curve revival of The Colour Purple. It's a career-defining role for an actress. It's one of the few really great leading roles for actresses of colour. Side note, that's why I'm wearing The Colour Purple today, and that is the last joke, and the only joke I will be able to make in this video. The rest of it is quite heavy, I'll be honest. It subsequently emerged, before rehearsals started, I think, for the production, that she had made some historic Facebook posts in 2014, not wildly long ago, let's be honest, that she did not believe in gay marriage, she did not support Christians who supported gay people, that homosexuality was legal, but it wasn't right. Aaron Lee Lambert, who at that point was in the cast of Hamilton, brought these to the attention of social media, where it went quite viral quite quickly, and a lot of people jumped on this bandwagon and made their voices heard in condemning everything that she had said and voicing their concern that she was playing a lesbian character in The Colour Purple. This is where the issue is complicated, because her character, Celie in The Colour Purple, has a lesbian relationship with the character of Shug Avery. That is not a negotiable fact, that is just something that happens in the show, the book and the film. It is eventually announced she will no longer be playing the role of Celie in their production, and she all but disappears from social media for a while. Time goes by, she comes back, she sues everyone. That's what my video 15 months ago was about, the fact that she had returned publicly to the theatre world and she was going to be bringing legal action against her former agent, who I think dropped her amidst this controversy, as well as the Leicester Curve and their co-producers who were co-producing The Colour Purple. Here is what I said at the time. Now she has returned with the support of Christian Concern, a charity boosted by her own father, and she is suing everyone. The very first take I have about this is, if you want to break your way back into the industry, suing everyone is not the best way to ingratiate yourself
after suffering a fall from grace, because the only reason she isn't getting hired at the moment is she's making people uncomfortable. Despite regretting causing offence, she hasn't apologised, and I don't think she thinks she's done anything wrong. She doesn't believe that what she said was homophobic. It just discriminates against gay people because of their sexuality, but that's apparently not homophobic. No one is entitled to a homophobic viewpoint. No one is entitled to use their platform as an actor on the internet to spread that. And even if she didn't actively discriminate against anyone she worked with, I think now's as good a time as any for her to learn that that's not an acceptable opinion for her to have.
Side note, I was a baby YouTuber back then who did not know how to talk to a camera. I'm literally holding my phone up in front of me on selfie mode in my bedroom in my parents' house. So that's what I said at the time, 15 months ago, October 2019. You can literally go and watch that video on my channel if you like. What was my hair? That's a real question. So why are we talking about this now? It's back in the news because at her tribunal hearing, her lawyers have argued that Celie's sexuality was ambiguous. They've said that she would have refused to play the role if she knew that Celie was a lesbian, but she didn't know. The reason for her not knowing is because the one female kiss in the film has vague intentions. Ignoring that whole mess of nonsense just for a second, there are like so many different counterpoints to this. The very first thing is, if you're saying if you knew she was gay you wouldn't have played the role anyway, why are you complaining about being fired? Because back at the time they had said she could either choose to resign in light of all the information or she would be dismissed. And she chose to be dismissed. So if she's saying she would have refused to play the role, why didn't she resign when she was given the option after finding out that it was a lesbian character that she'd clearly be so uncomfortable playing? Ergo, that's a lie, first of all. The second thing is the musical is not the film. They are both based on the same book. Alice Walker, who wrote the book, made a public statement talking in a very nuanced and very meaningful way about these issues. I'm going to read you some of what she said. She said, playing the role of Celie while not believing in her right to be loved or to express her love in any way she chooses would be a betrayal of women's rights to be free. The greatest freedom of all is the freedom to be your authentic self. In no uncertain terms, she's saying this character has a lesbian relationship. It's a character who's based on a real person who she is related to. So there is no vagueness, there is no ambiguity about Celie's sexuality from the mouth of the author. The other thing is, for this to even hold up, for us to even believe for a second that she would have refused the role, but she didn't know because she'd only watched the film, that is also a lie. The whole point of Billy Luke Never's tweet is he was pointing out Seyi Omooba has been in The Colour Purple, the musical, before. She was in a concert version at Cadogan Hall. She didn't play Celie, but here is a picture of her on stage playing Nettie alongside Marisha Wallace as Celie and Rachel John as Shug Avery. They are holding hands as a lesbian couple and she is right there next to them. In light of all of this, I have a very difficult time believing A, that you didn't know, B, that you would have refused the role. This whole thing just reeks of a pride and the inability to relinquish her control on this situation. She is just clinging on for dear life. Does she need the £128,000 she's suing for that badly? Is that all she can hope to get out of this? Is that really a good enough consolation prize for losing your entire career? Had she apologised back in the first place, I have to believe with the right PR people behind her, she could have rehabilitated her career by this point. But she has actively decided it is more important for her to hold on to bigoted beliefs. I feel so badly for the Leicester Curve that they're having to go through this when of course they made the right decision. They made a perfect decision. Let's talk a little bit about freedom of speech and what it actually means, because so often people confuse the idea of freedom of speech with freedom from consequences. The idea is you are legally entitled to say whatever you want within reason and within the law. It does not mean that people are not also within their legal rights to treat you accordingly based on that. The conversation about whether gay roles should only be played by gay actors is a very complex and nuanced one that I've touched on in some previous videos. Hey James Corden, congratulations on your Golden Globe nomination. It comes down to authenticity, and there is a big difference between a straight actor trying to play a gay role and a straight actor playing a gay role while personally resenting everything that character stands for. This makes no sense to me, and it shouldn't make any sense to you as an audience member. Knowing this about an actor, I would find it very hard to enjoy their performance. Actors are of course able to play beyond the scope of their own experience, but there's always a part of you that wants an actor, especially if they're playing a very morally upright an uplifting character, you want them to sort of hold values that reflect that in and of themselves. When I go see shows like Come From Away, I want to know that all of the cast are sort of lovely, wholesome people who really believe in the story that they're telling and the generosity of the human spirit. It was very disappointing to find out that an original Broadway cast member of Come From Away was anti-wearing masks, anti-COVID regulations. I'm not going to talk about that. If you want to find out, Google is your friend. I was educated in a Christian background in a religious school, and so I've had a lot of first-hand experience of what this looks like. It's hard not to feel personally victimized along with an entire historically marginalized community when things like this happen. This kind of bigotry and intolerance should not exist as any kind of legitimate legal basis in this day and age. It just shouldn't. If you have any more questions about this situation, if there's any of it you don't understand, feel free to ask in the comments section. I will do my best to explain. Let me know your thoughts and feelings about this in the comments section. If anyone violently disagrees with things that I'm saying, please remember that myself and anyone else you may meet in the comments section are all human beings, and I would love for us to be able to meet, interact and voice our feelings and discuss them with empathy and humanity. I know it's not going to happen, but I've said it, so we're going to try. I really hope I'm done talking about this, but the legal situation is ongoing, so who knows what will happen. I am optimistic that the Leicester Curve will not have to pay out this kind of money, especially when they're already in such a precarious financial position. If you want to support the Leicester Curve, one way of doing that is, very ironically, to stream their production of The Colour Purple. They are restaging it currently as a COVID-secure, socially distanced concert version that you will be able to stream online to your homes. It's a great way of supporting this venue by saying thank you for taking a stand alongside this community against bigotry and intolerance and homophobia. The Leicester Curve deserve nothing but praise for this. If you have stayed with me all the way to the end of this slightly intense video, thank you very much. I know it is not my usual content. I will be back to talking about riffs and silly lyrics and musicals very soon. Do not worry. If you would like to see some more of that and some slightly more light-hearted musical theatre videos, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends. I'm very close to 3,000 subscribers and I'm very excited about it. I hope that everyone is staying safe, valuing their fellow human beings, and I hope that you have a stagey day. For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!